Captain Kurt, who was on the podcast recently, but he like runs like a jet charter service. He's a pilot. And he was like, hey, dude, if you want to shoot some content, he goes, I got a dope private jet. I can fly you from basically Carlsbad to Scottsdale. We could shoot a YouTube video, shoot some content. Now I was like, dude, I wish I could, but I'm too busy to just take a joyride like that on a weekday. It was a Wednesday morning, so I didn't do it. But yeah, it's interesting. You start hanging around people that have the jets and these yachts, and it starts to become more and more of a normal thing. Real quick before we move on,
and we were talking about that. The important is obviously to be motivated by those guys, but not try to impress them. What is really, really important, because you have the motivation and after you have the flex. And the problem, those people are so big compared to us that it's really important to show that you have different, lifestyle and that people understand. So everybody wants to be friends with other people, and obviously you have different tier, but you need to be motivated by them and not try to be like them. That's really, really important.
So what's your take on that? I mean, I always talk about getting in rooms where your dreams are others' realities. It's the quickest way to level up your life. Do you think it's like, what are the pros and cons? Do you think it's good or bad to hang out with high net worth friends?
It's incredible. I mean, the motivation, 90% of the time, I'm the stupidest person in the room. That the reality is those guys are like a good motivation. They help me a lot, really good advice. The important is not try to impress them and understand that those people are on different calibers. For example, the guy who has LaFerrari in Fasten, he's number one in the listing of Ferrari in Beverly Hills. I would probably never be in his level. This is so big that, yes, you can work really hard and you can get close to it. But what is important is that you get motivated, but you not get eye-blinded. And I know a lot of people who are like trying to flex by spending a lot of money. You asked me the question before, you say, why you're not having more cars at the moment? Because I don't want to live above my means. I think having 2 good cars, sometimes 3 is good, but not get to the 5, 6, 7, 8 to try to impress people. The reality, you can only drive 1 car at a time. If you drive 1 good car, people don't know if you have others. So it's really important to really do the distinction between be friend with those people and invite them sometime to dinner, invite them to things, but not be there to like try to flex front of them, because 1, they know, and 2, you are not in the same game. That guy Mark, for example, who has 15,000 condo, if I start today, I will probably not reach him even in years. He started when he was 20 years old. But that guy has the best advice for Fastlane that I can hear about it. Last time he gave me an advice that was really smart. I was with a really successful real estate guy this weekend, and we heard something from a chapter that they didn't have enough events, and he came up with an idea, and he said, why you don't put a honorary president for each chapter? This person, we are voted for 1 year, he can get maybe sometime free event, free membership or things like that. And he doesn't run the club, but he does catering events sometimes. He's like, motivates members to come. He's going to feel the sense of responsibility. I didn't come with that idea. My really successful friend gave me this idea. I introduced that to some owners this morning. They said, Clement, this is the best idea we heard in years. So, is those small little change in a business can change everything. When we started to implement more women in Fastlane, more drive and everything, it's not like we did that naturally. At the beginning, it was an idea to say, how can we have more? And implement it came with some idea from external. I listened to it, I processed it, we implement that, and we see what is working or not. And sometimes we try to do things in Fastlane. For example, if I do happy hour in Fastlane and it's free, people don't show up. Ask me why, I have no idea. Last time we did a happy hour with some members, and we try to do things that are a little different. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But at least those really successful people can come with small ideas that's going to change. And I'm sure you can tell me stories where, on your boutique hotel or mastermind, someone said, hey, just do that. And that changed your whole business.
Oh, totally. Much. Sometimes it's the messaging. It's the way you frame certain things. Just tweaking a couple words in the messaging can be the difference between being mediocre and just like, hey, having a ton of like sales, you know what I mean? So it's big. The one thing I'll say about being in the right rooms, for me, I'm a big fan of it. Every time that I've leveled up my network, I've leveled up my life. And I will also say this, every time I've forced myself to spend up, whenever I'm on the fence about buying something, for example, like, you know, I'll give you an example. So like, let's say you want to go buy a nice car and you're like, hey, like I've never had like a nice car. I've never spent this much money on a car before. I don't know if I should do it. I'm like, no, go do it. Because if you're meant to be in this game, it will force you to think bigger and you will figure it out and it will change your perspective. And so where I live, like I live in a really nice spot right now. My rent is it's like quadruple what it ever was. And my spot right now is quadruple of what my previous place was. And I was like, for a little bit, I was like, I don't know if I should do it. And I ended up doing it. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me because it allowed me to think bigger. It allowed me to change my perspective. It allowed me to increase my network. And so it made me more money.
Exactly.
The boat's another one.
And it's a confidence that you're going to have to yourself. Driving a nice car, having a nice watch, dressing well. I say to every people, invest in yourself the way you dress. You and I, we dress the same. You're never going to see me. Look, I wear a black t-shirt, a jean, black shoes. Not going to be here. It's like small change can make you believe in yourself, meet good people, and really attract that. And on the room, is really important also to not forget your other friends, the people that you are motivating, you know. I have a lot of friends who are not as successful, who cannot be in fast lane, but I'm never forgetting those friends. I'm hanging out with them, I'm motivating them, I'm helping them. This is really also important to not just have mentor, but to be the mentor of someone that needs help, because a young entrepreneur can arrive tomorrow and say, hey, Rich, I want to open some hotel. You're going to change his life and he will help you at some point beyond what you can imagine. So those one are important. Being on the room where you are not the smartest, but sometimes being in the room where you're going to help all your friends on both sides.
Totally. You never know who you're inspiring out there. And I'll also say this is like each time you level up your life, like I feel like life gets overwhelming before the level up. And so for anyone listening to this to where like, hey, like things are overwhelming right now, I'm like, no, it's a good fucking thing. If you're feeling overwhelmed, that's a good thing because it means that you're about to level up. And each time you figure out the keypad to get through that challenge that you are currently facing, you will always unlock a new door and find a new level that opens up a whole new room for you. And each time you level up, that's the new baseline. So when you go get that nice car, that's the new baseline. When you go fly first class, that's the new baseline. When you go get that penthouse, that's the new baseline. When you go get the yacht, that's the new baseline, right? And so each time you do that, it's like, okay, that's the new normal. And then you build from there.
But what is important is that it doesn't eat you. Because the problem about it, you're getting ready that it doesn't eat you alive. So the problem about it, if you say, oh, I cannot live without those toys, you're getting sad when you don't have them anymore. And the baseline is really important, but you need also to be sure you are detached from it. I'm not attached to material. I can sell a car tomorrow. When I sell them, I'm happy. It's been a transaction. It's been a good memory. If I sell like a watch or if I sell anything, you need to realize that this thing has been a journey and you can let it go.
Here's the combo. Here's the deadly combo. Meet someone that's ambitious and humble.
Exactly.
If you can have those two things, that is a deadly combo.
And about motivation, you and I, we have the same. You probably get hundreds of messages a day of young entrepreneur wants to be like you. In Fastlane, I have so many stories of young entrepreneurs that messaging us and say, one day I will be part of your club. And I have this story to one of my really good friends, Sebastian. About 5 years ago, he sell pest control. He has 70 people working for him today. It's incredible. It's like major success. You met him, 27 years old. And the guy 5-6 years ago say, when we created Fastlane, he said, one day I will be part of it. Joined a year ago. You know, young entrepreneurs, it's a really good motivation. This year, he bought my old boat. And he was like, one day I'm going to be able to buy a Nautic G23. And he bought my boat. And just the mindset to say, I will be there, visualize it. And Fastlane, I think, is a really good thing for young entrepreneurs. That's why we have programs for young entrepreneurs under 28, a little like YPO and some club, to really motivate them and be sure it's not just successful people, it's people who are becoming successful. And that is really, really important. So we obviously have 3 tiers in Fastlane, the people who are becoming, we have the one who are and the one who are really successful. But all those people help each other to a certain way. The least successful going to be motivated by the one driving LaFerrari, but the guy with LaFerrari going to be really happy to have extend his network and have, you know, young people around him that he can motivate. And that is really the magical combo with Fastlane.
I love that. I wanted to circle back real quick. You touched on Turkey. And I just want to say real quick, I've been to Turkey twice. And so if you're a listener out there, you have to go to Turkey. You have to visit it.
Incredible.
I've been there twice now. I'm telling you right now, from going to Cappadocia, where they have like the hot air balloons, you do a little sunrise. And it's like where you see those famous sunrise photos where everyone's taking photos and you got hundreds of hot air balloons in the sunset, or in the horizon rather. Beautiful place. Awesome. You got to do it. And then from there you go down south to like Antalya. Antalya is like a little blend of like Miami and maybe Italy right there on the southern coast, the Turkish Riviera. Then you just take the Turkish Riviera up the coast. And I'm telling you right now, the most gorgeous coastline that you ever see. It's beautiful cliffs. It's very, very like isolated, so you don't see a ton of population.
Safe.
It's safe. It's very affordable. The people are the nicest people you ever meet. The food, the Turkish tea, the baklava is so good. And you make your way up the Turkish Riviera, you hit little towns like Kaş. Like literally Kaş is amazing. It's like this town right on a freaking cliff. Everywhere you go, it's just like amazing views, the best sunsets you ever see. You see the Greek islands off in the horizon in the sunset. Fethiye, Bodrum. Bodrum right now is literally blowing up. It's like all the mega yachts are going in there. They got the high-end shopping, all the high-end stuff there. All the high net worth individuals are pulling their yachts into Bodrum. It's dope. And yeah, it's really becoming the up and coming spot for a lot of people to visit. You got Izmir, and then you got Istanbul. Of course, Istanbul has a lot of culture, to say the least. But I'm telling you guys right now, if you're listening to this, you got to go visit Turkey. It is one of my favorite spots in the entire world. If you love real estate investing, passive income, and tax benefits, but don't have the time, my company, Summers Capital, is buying boutique hotels right now. We source the deals, we renovate the properties, and we even handle all the day-to-day management, making it truly hands-off for our investors. If you want to learn more to see if we can help you, visit summerscapital.com/invest to book a call with our team. Again, that's summerscapital.com/invest. Now back to the show.
I agree. It's I've been there a few times and it's fantastic. And you have also Croatia. You have Greece is too expensive right now. I think that's going to have to blow up at some point. But Turkey, I think, is a really good middle ground with everything.
Yeah, and it's the same climate as Greece.
Yeah,
you know you got the Greek islands and then Turkey's right there. So the climate's almost identical. The weather is almost identical. It's about half the price, and it's undervalued destination.